Hello, everybody, and welcome to my brand new podcast. Music to Live for with Shanti. It's me, Shanti, a Swiss musicologist and stage manager, talking with different artists and discussing different topics belonging to the music business. Social media allowed me to connect with people from all over the world. One of them is Logan Miano, drummer of the band Rhythm of Fear. I always found his post funny, and so we connected. In this episode, we talk about the American scene, living in Florida, and his experience as a musician that even brought him here in Switzerland. So let's go!
Check this out. Music to live for with Shanti.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of my podcast. This is Music to Live for with Shanti, and today I'm here with Logan Miano from the States. Hi, Logan, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Shanti?
Yeah, all fine here, all fine here. So I'll let you introduce you for the audience, where you come from, and everything. We are so curious to know more about you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I have so many fans out there, man. Billions and billions. I'm sure they all dying to know about me. No. Yeah, Logan Miano. I play drums for a thrash metal band, the thrash metal band, Rhythm of Fear, based out of Jacksonville, Florida. And that's basically it. I'm not very interesting.
Yeah, Florida. I mean, Florida for us in Europe, it's, I guess, Everglades and Miami.
Oh, Miami's
I would
beautiful, beautiful women, beautiful people. It's hot. Florida is always hot. You never get a chance. I live in North Florida, so I get to feel a little bit of a cold snap about two weeks out of the year, pretty much. But I love the cold personally. That's why I'm trying to move to Switzerland, bro. As soon as you got a floor space out there for me, I'll move in. Nah, but yeah, no, Florida is nasty, bro. You got huge mosquitoes. You got alligators running across the highway. You got to beat them off with sticks. But it's always hot here and it's always nasty. But yeah, the Everglades, man, I've never visited the Everglades before. That's really sad. As a Floridian, I've never actually been. But I hear it's scary, and you probably don't want to go there. It's like giant snakes that'll eat you.
But that's fun because every states in America are so big. But even here in Switzerland, it's a small country, but there's places where I never been. So, like it doesn't matter if it's where you live. There is always that specific place where everybody knows, but have you ever been there? Honestly, no. So it's
Right,
fun. Yeah. So you say you're a drummer, thrash metal band. How do you get into that kind of music, man?
Let's see. So when I was young, so I grew up listening to like AOR bands, like adult-oriented rock bands like Journey, Kansas, REO Speedwagon, stuff like that. Because my father, he listens to all the classic stuff like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. So that was always like really my passion as a kid. But then when I got older, I want to say someone introduced me to POD and like Linkin Park and whatnot when I was a child. And I thought that was like the heaviest music, like the most aggressive music I had ever heard at the time. And then when I always collected CDs, and I still do to an extent. I have way too many. I need to sell them all. But so hit me up, anyone out there that's trying to buy some compact discs. I got you. Trying to clear out some storage. But so I would buy CDs growing up, and then in the CD booklets, it would have like a thank you list, right, of other bands. Like, hey, you should listen to this band, this band, this band. And I would always read the thank you notes, and then I would go to the library or go to a record store and like FYE or Coconuts or places like that, and try to find those CDs, because at the time you didn't have internet to just like go to YouTube or go to Spotify or whatever to find music. You'd have to go to the CD store and buy a record based off the way it looks, and like, oh, this looks like it might be cool. And then you get home and it's a complete disappointment. Like I'll never forget, I bought a Less Than Jake CD from from the record store one time, and I took it home because I didn't know what it was. It just had like this kid holding like a firecracker or something on it. I was like, oh, that looks like it might be some hardcore metal stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was nothing like that whatsoever. So a little disappointed in that, but that's just kind of how it was. But every once in a while you would strike gold, like Hatebreed or something. It's like, oh, this is what I was looking for, like really aggressive stuff. One of my best friends growing up, Justin, he introduced me to Pantera at an early age, and Slayer, Metallica.
The classics, yeah.
The classics, yeah, all the stuff that everyone should hear, right? If you're into like aggressive music. And at first when he showed it to me, I felt like it was a little too aggressive, like it was too much. Like Slayer was too fast. Pantera was like, I don't know, it was like almost too extreme for me at first. Like POD was different, right? In Linkin Park, because they would sing and scream a little bit, and the music was still heavy, but there was a lot of melody and harmony and whatnot. But it was more catchy, I guess.
Yes.
But it took me a couple of years, but then it got into like, Slayer, Metallica, Pantera, the Creator album, Enemy of God in 2005 when that came out. So met a lot of friends, going to shows that were into metal. They would tell me about more bands like Zentrix and Cyclone Temple and Testament and all the classic thrash metal bands. And that's basically it. That was it for me, man. Just always digging. Like, I love looking for old bands that put out that one record in 1988 that never got anywhere, right? They might have pressed 500 records and then they disbanded. I love finding music like that, and it's just like a buffet of riff. Just fantastic guitar work, and the recordings back in like the late 80s, early 90s were just like that crisp, clean, warm, like the perfect balance between polished and raw.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Coma of Souls by Creator is, for some reason, I don't know, I feel like that's like the perfect sounding record, because I don't like super overproduced stuff unless you're like in like a, I don't know, like a radio rock band or something like that. That's what you want to hear is like ear candy. But with like metal, I don't want it to be like super pretty. I want it to be a little dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always critic when I am on a live show and the band sounds too much like the CD. I like when it's a little bit dirt. I mean, that's live, that the band still play. I know that there's a lot of bands out there nowadays playing with backline and
Sure.
Backtracking, sorry, yeah. And I mean, it's okay, but sometimes you miss that feeling of live experience.
Yeah, of course. You want the guitar players to have to switch guitars in the middle of the song because they broke a string or something. Like, you want to see that they're not you want to see that they're human as well, especially as like other musicians in the audience that are watching these bands and they just blast through their set as if like they're like they never make a mistake. Like, I always get a kick out of watching musicians, like big musicians too, like Slayer and stuff, like making mistakes and having to start songs over and stuff. Like, it's cool because that's the way it's going to be, right? Everyone,
they are human being like you, and they are your idols. They make the music, they make you dream, or like they give you this kick, an emotional kick. But then on the stage, they're like you. I remember being here in Europe, in Switzerland, in Zurich, and being at the Rammstein concert.
Oh, wow.
And it's a huge show, but they are also really good musician. I mean, you can feel that they're live playing. It's not just too much construct.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And I remember they started on the main stage, so huge fireworks, light show, and then in the middle of the concert, they just went from the main stage, walking through the audience. And in the middle of the audience, they put like a small ring for the box. But it was like a mix in between like a fighting ring and a small stage, and they play like the second part of the set in this small stage with the people really near. And I really enjoy that because they're really a wonderful and famous band.
Right.
And in that concert, they just played in some contact with the audience, like to say, thank you for all the support. We
Oh,
are
right.
here with you, near you. And this was so warm. So they gain a lot of respect for that,
Right.
honestly. And
Oh, for sure. And I like that too because like they're giving the audience in the far back, you know, that maybe couldn't get up front in time or didn't have enough money
mhm.
to have a great seat or whatever. You know, they're giving those people a chance as well to be closer to them and really be more a part of the show. So yeah, that's always really nice. I haven't seen a lot of musicians do that, like bigger bands, but I've seen Kiss do that. Like they'll have the
Mhm.
platform closer to like the front of house, and they'll come out there and they'll play a song or two like closer to the rest of the audience in the back. So that's always really nice. Taylor Swift, I think she's done that. I've seen her do that, but
Mhm. Mhm.
not really. But that's cool to see Rammstein like doing stuff like that as well. Like that, I imagine that's a really crazy show. And
Yeah,
I like
because
Rammstein personally, but not like a huge fan. Like I haven't delved into their music as much as I
mhm.
probably should have. But I knew a handful of songs like Rosenrot and America and like songs like that.
Yeah, the live show is worthy because honestly, I saw them the first time in 2005, and I was really a teenager working a festival. And it's a quite a famous festival here in Switzerland. It's called Paleo Festival, and
Okay.
uh, it's all kind of music from pop, rap, even something more, I would say, not classical, but ethnic music, I would say. You don't have only rock star there.
That's good. So it's a good. Oh yeah, I think. What's the name of the fest again?
Paleo.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a French name because it's in the French part of Switzerland. Like I saw Ravi Shankar with the sitar playing live, like it's other kind of music, but also very important music, very important artist. And
Right.
the nice things about the Rammstein concert was that there was a lot of people all around me from different ages enjoying the concert, like because it was an experience, not just loud music and screaming and fire and everything.
Right. Right.
Everything was really paying attention and enjoying the moment. That this was, uh, yeah, it's very nice because I noticed sometimes the audience here in Switzerland, whatever kind of concert are you going, it's kind of lame, or yeah, they
Oh
don't do
really?
much, not much moshing, not much cheering or something like this, and
Oh,
then
just like no emotion from the crowd. You mean?
yeah, and then thanks to my experience in touring or visiting friends, like just going to Germany, you have really people interesting to come and listen to a show, even if they don't know the band. Just enjoy it. We just want to listen to some live music tonight. Oh, we are just curious about the band, and they come to the show and they
Right.
participate. And so, yeah, I still think that this is so important in this I would say thing in between having a live show and having audience come see you and not just staying behind a screen. Like you said it's something that I also lived. The fact that as youngs we went to the music store, we have to looking through the album cover and think that if
Right.
it was
Looking at
right
the
now.
record
Yeah,
label, trying to see what the band looks like on the back. Like, oh, they got long hair and someone's got a
yeah.
dismember shirt on. This might be nasty. And then it's like an indie record. Like the one dude just happens to be like into death metal. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I remember seeing a motocross movie, and I remember there was always this kind of shot of 5 minutes videos. Once it was skateboarding, once was motocross, one was surfing, and there was this song, and there was the band called Seven Dust, and I bought a
Oh, yeah.
CD full blinded, and it was one of the biggest delusion because in the end it was not the kind of music that I really enjoyed. But
Right.
or I remember the first time I listened to Hatebreed. The album was the Perseverance, and
Oh,
man,
yep.
it was quite heavy. It was one of the first band that say screamy.
Sure.
The
Just
first
sounded
song was
so aggressive. Like that's what you were looking for. Yeah.
but
Someone showed me that music in like the 5th grade or something. I was like, this is insane, bro.
yeah, but to me the shock, but also the door was open after that. It was the Iowa Slipknot Iowa.
Oh,
I
sure.
personally, I wasn't into metal, or I wasn't into older bands, a historical band, let's say, and I was listening to this intro, People Eagle shit. You know, because it was crazy because there was this intro electronic. I didn't get it. What?
Yeah.
This electronic.
And such a true statement as well, right?
Yeah, and then this heavy riff, da, 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 and then whoa, that was something really an experience, you know.
Right.
And so this is change a lot of things, and then after that, you know, you have the chance to know, okay, I'm interested into this kind of music, so you go back into the history, and then you're looking for bands similar bands, stuff like this, and you build your knowledge and also what do you like to listen to.
So this is the part where you got into ICP and you became a juggalo, right? You started drinking Faygo every day and like you bathing in the Faygo rain.
Yeah.
Pants.
Yeah, Gigolo man. Instant Clone Posse also has been kind of a delusion in some ways because I was not in. I never been into that kind of. How can I say this is hip hop? Some kind of rapping stuff.
I'm not sure. Yeah, just like some crazy. It's just crazy hip hop shit.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's not my thing either. And oddly enough, like Slipknot wasn't my thing for a long time until they put out. What's the record with Psychosocial on it? I forget the name of it.
Sublime Volume 3, something like that.
No, it's one that came out in like 2009 or so, or maybe 2008. It's a record. It's like got all of them standing on the front, like in like a cornfield.
Yeah, I remember which one it is. Let me.
Dude, that record.
I'm curious to.
That record's amazing, man. Like oddly, the way I even got into that record is because I was working at the airport and there was this girl that I had a crush on, and she worked in a section that sold CDs, and I would just go over there and flirt with her every day, and to like have an excuse to go over there, I would buy something, right? You know,
All Hope Is Gone. The album is All Hope Is Gone.
All Hope Is Gone. Yes,
yeah.
What a great album. So I bought that record, and then I bought Death Magnetic by Metallica.
Okay, interesting album, that one. I thought.
Yeah, I like that one too. But oddly enough, that's what got me into Slipknot, was just buying that album. I was like, this is good. This is good stuff. It's heavy. It's well written. The production on those albums are incredible. And then I kind of went backwards from there. But I was shown Slipknot at an early age and wasn't really into it. I don't know. It seemed too crazy at first, right?
Yeah. Let's go back on to Metallica, because a lot of people don't like Santanker. I love this. I love the song. We are both drummer. I love the snare drum in the song Santanker.
You love the snare drum?
Yeah.
Really? So that's like, my whole thing with that album isn't so much the songwriting. It's because I love pretty much all Metallica except for that album, but only because it's so painful to listen to. It's just,
I love only that song.
Oh, just the song.
Just the song.
Okay.
Yeah, just the song.
Okay, I understand. That makes sense. But yeah, as far as like the drum sound, like I don't know what they were thinking when they put out their record. I mean, I love Metallica for being doing whatever they want. They literally don't care. They just do whatever they want. I think that's fantastic. And I love the fact that they've experimented with different sounds over the years and tried to branch out and not just stick with the same old speed thrash metal, like let's be whatever. That's cool. Like I love Load and Reload. Like there's some great songs on those records. I haven't listened to Hardwired as much as I think I probably listened to it all the way through 1 or 2 times, but I haven't really like given it a good chance yet. But Death Magnetic was fantastic.
Hey, Death Magnetic was such an incredible surprise. Got so many good songs on it, good riff. And it was kind
Yeah,
of
listen to that
refreshing.
one after because that was the first record after Saint Anger, right?
So
That was like
everybody thought that Metallica was gone.
done. Yeah, done for. You put out Saint Anger and it got shit on basically by everybody, and except for maybe a cult few people that probably really enjoy that album and the sound and everything. So I thought the same thing. I was like, man, I don't know. I kind of heard rumors that they were going back to their old sound, their earlier sound, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really like the way Death Magnetic sounds and the riff writing and everything else. But yeah, as far as Saint Anger, man, I don't know. I can't hate on them. I can't hate on them for like branching out and being experimental and trying other things and seeing if it works. If they enjoyed putting that record together and they are proud of it, then I think that's all that really matters. Because Metallica really they don't have to prove anything to anyone. They are quite literally the thrash metal icons,
Yeah, I also saw once
timeless records, right?
that documentary they made about, I don't remember the title, but where you see all the struggle in between the members of the band. It was kind of honest.
What was it? A day in the life of Metallica or something? Or,
yeah, I guess so.
Kind of monster?
I guess so. Yeah, and I kind of that one. The
Kind of monster was the one when they were recording
yeah.
Saint Anger, I think, right?
Yeah.
It was interesting to see, like being played out like a drama between the band members and seeing like them being pissed off at each other and not having fun anymore, so to speak. They're just like, we got to put this record out.
But it was interesting because it was that period where, nowadays we don't have anymore this idea of superstar or rock. Let's say in our cases that we are more metal. Let's talk about rock star. We don't have this figure anymore. This kind of
maybe like Rob Halford or. If you consider Kiss like a metal band, like I consider Kiss a metal band. Personally.
Yeah, me too.
They're definitely metal. They're like, I'd say they're part of like the birth of metal, like Blue Oyster Cult and bands like that, Blue Cheer, and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like there are definitely like those icons out there still that are still doing it, that are like people look up to. But I understand what you're saying, though. Yeah, for sure.
So in this documentary, seeing this struggling, it was like destroying the myth, but at the same time rebuilding it. Showing
Right.
look at, we are going through that and that phase. It's hard. Okay, we got the same problems that you have, but yeah, we want to keep doing music. And to try to keep Metallica bounded and united and try to produce it once again. And I think they reach their goals with that Magnetic, honestly, because they bring that new sound, let's say, but also the new sound that remind the old riffs and the energy that Metallica always got. Honestly, I'm kind of sad because I never seen Metallica live.
Oh man.
And
really?
They came to Sweden a couple of times, but always sold out so fast or stuff like that. So kind of hard. But I really hope to have the chance before they will.
Yeah. Because you're close. You're in Basel, right? You're close to Zurich.
Yeah, it's like less than 1 hour.
That's awesome. Yeah, Metallica's incredible live, man. I got to work one of their shows. And I got to see, I can't remember now. I want to say, I worked one of their shows in Ohio. So that was cool. And I think I've seen them one other time, but I'm having a brain fart now. But they put on an incredible show, needless to say, with the lasers and everything else. Like they sound badass. I don't know. It's just like one of those experiences where like it's unforgettable. Like this is Metallica. This is like the reason, one of the biggest reasons that I play drums in a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like Lars for whatever reason, because I don't know if it's his attitude or like what, I don't know. People are lame, but I think that people say Lars isn't a good drummer.
Yeah, people want drama.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Lars Ulrich is an incredible drummer, and he has his own style and is kind of the pioneer of his own style. You know what I mean? He might not be the best drummer on the planet. I mean, who's the best drummer? I have no idea. Neil Peart, but he's dead now, so rest in peace. Probably one of my favorite drummers of all time. But you got a lot of great drummers out there, but it's kind of hard to boil down like who's the best drummer. But yeah, Lars Ulrich is nowhere close to being the best drummer, but he is his own force. You know what I mean? I love that about him. But yeah, man, Metallica. Can't say enough good things about him. Hopefully one day my band, Rhythm of Fear, gets to open for him, or maybe one day they get to open for us when, we are bigger than them.
Yeah, hopefully. But
it would be so lucky. They can sell. We'll have them pre-sale some tickets, maybe like 50. Do like 50 pre-sales. Don't touch the cheese cubes and the Gatorade in the green room, and maybe you can open for us one day, Metallica.
That's definitely a nice idea and a great dream. But how is this music scene in Florida? I mean, let's talk about in general in the States, because let's be clear. Here in Europe, we live with the so-called the American dream. Like California, it's great. You have to be to LA once in your life. Oh, New York, so cool, and everything.
New York is badass.
Or we grow up with this scene, West Coast, East Coast, even for hardcore, the New York hardcore and everything. Of course, it is important, but we live this like in second hands or like from I've heard of,
Right.
Only few have the chance to be there or working with those artists and knowing better what it is. It's kind of everything's still like a myth, and this is what is cool of it. But I think it's cool for the audience also to understand how somebody from the States live the American music scene,
Well, I'm going to try to be as positive as possible. Okay. But being in a band myself and touring in the States several times over the past, 10 years or so, and then being in Europe a handful of times and touring, the difference for me is the passion and the love and respect for smaller bands in Europe, right? Not so much in America. America, we're spoiled. We get all your favorite bands are touring nonstop in America. You can see Ghost in New York City 10 times a year. You see Metallica probably once a year in your state, in your home state. I mean, maybe not Metallica. They don't tour very often, but that was a bad example. Obituary or Hatebreed, they're coming through your city or your state within a 2-hour period, or within a 2-hour radius from where you live several times a year. So everyone here is spoiled, and they don't really, I feel like the respect for live music in America isn't as prominent like it is in Europe. Just like playing in, I mean, it's different everywhere in America. Touring here is fun, but it's definitely hard work. But I feel like if you can make it here in America, you can make it anywhere. You can make your band successful playing in Kansas or playing in Iowa or playing in an A market like Chicago or New York City or Philadelphia or LA or somewhere like that, Denver, and not being eaten alive, by all the other tours that are happening. Because that's what's going on. Like there's so much oversaturation of touring bands in America where your band will be on tour in California, right? And you're like, it's your first time there, and I can't believe it. We made it here. We're doing San Francisco, we're doing Los Angeles, we're doing San Diego, we're doing Sacramento. And, sorry, Morbid Angel's touring, and they're also playing the same cities as you on the same night. Yes. So now you have to compete with Morbid Angel, or now you have to compete with whoever else, like any band. Like I'll never. For instance, I'll give you an actual example. So Rhythm of Fear, I don't remember what year this was, maybe 2000, 2017, maybe 2018, we got the chance to open up for Armored Saint and Queensryche, which are, Queensryche is one of my favorite bands of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was like dream come true, right? Well, just so happens on the same night, literally right around the corner from where we were playing, not even 3 or 4 blocks from where we were playing.
Yeah.
Dream Theater was playing.
Oh.
Yeah. Dream Theater is the same crowd. It's the exact same demographic. It's the same crowd, man. So now you're asking, and where I live in Jacksonville, Florida, it's not an A market at all. Like, we get big shows and whatnot, and we get smaller bands and everything in between, but we're not an A market, so we don't have 5 million people.
Yeah.
And, I think we're like a little over 1 million now. So it's still a big city, but it's like the biggest city land-wise in the United States, which I think is kind of funny, but it's just like a huge land mass. But either way, I digress. So we had Dream Theater literally playing around the corner. So of course our show was going to hurt from that. So a show that Queensryche and Armored Saint, and us being a pretty prominent local band from here, should have made the draw. Like, I don't know. I think there should have been like 700 or 800 people.
Yes.
And I think it turned out to be like maybe 400 people, 300 people, because you had like a sold out Dream Theater show right around the corner. So that's always kind of annoying. Oh, and also I want to say Hellstar and Flotsam and Jetsam were touring as well. And they just took the day off completely because of that. They didn't even bother having a show. And then I think Hellstar came to the Queensryche show and hung out. So that was cool. It was good to see those guys. But so yeah, it's like that. It's a oversaturation of touring going on in the States. You guys get a lot of cool tours in Europe too, like tours I wish I could see that don't happen in the States. But it's because I'm into those niche bands like Mordred and Zentrix and stuff, like bands that won't come to the States and do like a full US tour. They might just come to the States and do like a special festival appearance, right? Like Pungent Stench or something. They're not going to tour the States. They'll just show up, play Maryland Death Fest, and then fly home. And for me, Maryland is 15 hours away. Or,
here in Europe we have like summer festivals. Like this is the period where everybody is going. Normally they used to go on holiday, like you go 1 week in Germany for that event, then you go maybe in Eastern Europe to that one, then back to Switzerland, and you have almost the same event.
right.
And so you see those bands maybe 2 times a year. Then you have sometimes spring, sometimes some bands, and in autumn you got also a lot of nice.
When the summer, when the weather starts getting really nice outside.
Yeah, yes, and in the last year, this kind of touring changed out a little bit. I can speak for for Switzerland. We had like 3 or 4 places that were known for offering metal concert with band touring, and 1 year maybe is one place the most in Auge for that, and the year later there is another location and everything. Yeah, I don't know. This COVID situation just broke all the routine.
Right.
The booking agency brings always really good names every years.
Who do you guys have? Who do you have in Zurich and Geneva? Or it's not called Geneva, right? How do you pronounce it? Like Genf or?
Genf is in German, but you say Geneva. Genève.
Geneva.
Yeah, Geneva
it tripped me out when I was in Geneva and I saw on like a map or something that said like GENF. I was like, why?
Yeah, this is the German, because of course Switzerland having 3 languages, 4.
Right.
Honestly,
German, Italian, French.
And there is this. It's called Retro Romanche, and it's just a mix of German and Italian.
Oh wow,
and
that's cool.
it's a special language. Many people talk, even young people still talking it, but it's not. It's more tradition than official, let's say.
Right, right.
And
Hey, I'm gonna quit. Let me quiz you real quick. I'm just curious.
yes,
You being from Switzerland, what is the most Italian speaking city in Switzerland? Go.
I guess Lugano.
Ooh, my man. Yes, you got it.
Yeah, I come from the region. I mean, I'm. It's funny
Oh,
because
that's your area?
yeah, I come from one of the part. I guess there's two parts in Switzerland when you speak Italian, and the main part is called Ticino. It's this triangle going through Italian,
Okay.
and there also we have like there is like a hill dividing the north and the south region, and I come from the north. And
Okay.
saying this, I would say from the north to the south, you got like 30 minutes drive. So it's a small area, but it's
Right,
funny
right, right.
because you grow up and you still have this. I would say I always say that the north part is the best. You know, like you're proud
Right,
to be
yeah.
from there, and like, but yeah, Lugano is the well known even because it's almost near to Milano,
Right.
and so you got already a little bit of influence from this glamour from the biggest city in the North Italy, but at
Right.
the same time you got people in Ticino, in this region of Switzerland. We are the redneck of Switzerland.
Really?
Yeah,
For real?
yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean in
To
for
me,
you?
it's
Right.
kind of ironic, but we have such a kind of close mentality. Like
Mm,
the classic example is that we are at the border with Italy. We speak Italian. At school, we learn the same thing. The difference is just that you pay in euro, you pay in Swiss francs, and even the dialect is the same. One people coming from Ticino speaking dialect will understand somebody from Milan speaking dialect because this is the region, is the
right.
Padania, is the north of Italy. But in this specific corner, we are in Switzerland, and people like just like have some sort of prejudice, almost racism, with people coming from Italy working in Switzerland and
Really?
stuff like
Even
this.
though they're of Italian descent, like being
Yeah,
like 70% of Lugano is Italian descent, but they have a
yeah.
problem with other Italians coming to work.
Yeah. In my adoptive family, originally from my mother's side, they come from Como, I mean
Okay.
north of Italy, and for example, and those people in Ticino also have prejudice on people from Swiss German, like because they all think Swiss German are better, got more money, like this and stuff like this, and honestly, I just got tired of people thinking like this because yeah, it's a small society, it's a small reality. So honestly, it could be easy, to melt and make a fusion or make business with north of Italy and the other part of the country, but no, there's always some political question about that and that,
Oh
or
yeah,
ethical question.
everyone's in each other's business because it's such a tight knit
Yeah,
society that everyone knows everybody and
yeah.
wants to be up in your ass the whole time. Like, hey, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So when I started the university here in the north of the country, that means like 3.5 hour train from where I grow up. It's not big distances,
Right.
and you still have this so-called Swiss mentality, but it's a little bit more open. I will say this is my feeling, my approach. Like
Right.
even it's a sad topic, but as
Yeah.
a Indian guy growing up in Switzerland, I also lived some experience with racism.
Oh, I'm
I don't
sure.
want to hide that, but and this happened more in the south than in the north, so this is one of the reasons why I'm feeling home here where I'm right now. Of course, there is a huge difference of nature and clima. The weather in the south in summer, spring and summer is really warm. You
Right.
can't deny is I grew up on a lakeside. Like maybe in the morning I went doing some mountain bike downhill on the mountain nearby, and then in the afternoon I was swimming in the lake with my friends. It was really a good kind of life. But then
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up, you
Oh, sounds
discover you
wonderful.
discover also the mentality of the people is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like I went to the university with some guy also from Ticino, and most of them they just wanted to go back. They had no interest to making friends in the Swiss German part, and always stay with their own kind. And
Hmm.
I don't know,
Very close-minded, reclusive type of
in
mentality.
some ways, because
Hmm.
then you always have exception and people that won't get against the grain. But in my experience, I had to deal with more people like, oh, so you're studying musicology, so what are you gonna be? And
Oh,
the other,
they don't get it, right?
no, because they all study medicine, they all study how we say laws, and they study biology, chemistry. Like it
Right.
seems like, oh, this is the door to the success and having a
Right.
stable job. But like,
That's what I hear. Is it's kind of like that for Switzerland. It's a beautiful country. Honestly, one of my favorite, probably my favorite country I've ever visited so far.
mhm.
Just from like the Swiss Alps and everything. It's so beautiful there. It's like something out of a fairy tale. But uh, from what I understand, yeah, a lot of people, it's kind of like a boring life at the same time. You just work and everyone's quiet
Yeah.
and keep to yourself and whatnot. And yeah, it's strange, but I don't know. It sounds nice at the same time. Like it sounds very peaceful.
But it is, like we have, like, as I said, in like, for I take a practical example. In the Swiss German part, we have a lot of concert, all the main metal concert up in there. Even I work in classical music, and you have really incredible concert hall that
Yeah.
are recognized all over the world. Very good orchestras. But this happen all in the Swiss German part. Like, because the south is not just small, but they don't offer the opportunity. I mean, guess if I took the chance to the choice to live there where my parents still living, I don't think I will have the chance to live all the experience I had in the last
Right.
7 years. But as I said, it's a small country. You're always home. If I decided to go home, it's 3 hours, and I'm totally in another part of the land and
For sure.
different.
That's another beautiful thing about Switzerland being such a good location. Just
Mhm.
it's a short drive to Austria, short drive to Germany, a short drive to France, a short drive to Italy. Like I don't know, it seems like a great place to be, especially if you're into music.
Yeah.
And you
On
and you make good money there, right? And it's short travel. You can travel into Germany and buy stuff for cheap and bring it back.
Yeah, this is I do this because I'm living 20 minutes or less from France and from Germany. This is
So,
daily routine. Of course, some stuff you buy here, but others it's just
right, but a pair of pants is a 100 francs or whatever.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the funny fact that I love Dickies, and here in
Yeah.
Europe, even Carhartt. Here in Europe, Dickies and Carhartt are two brands that are like fashion brands here in Europe.
Well, I wouldn't say
But
Dickies is
then,
so much like that in America, but definitely Carhartt for sure. I see people wearing stuff like that. I'm not big. I love fashion personally, but I'm not big on fashion like myself. Like as far
yeah.
as I don't dress like I'm into fashion, but I appreciate the hell out of it. But Carhartt's definitely popular here. Not so much Dickies though. Dickies was popular like if you grew up in like the early 2000s and you listen to like Blink 182 or something.
Okay, but I don't know. I love it. I love this kind of cholo style and stuff like this. But here is not popular because it's not trendy, and the price for the pants. Like, I got some friends in the States told me, here you can buy Dickies for 20, 30 euros.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry, dollar. Sorry, and here,
Well, it's close enough. It's same, right?
yeah, and here in Switzerland you pay those pants 80 euro, dollar. Like, there's this huge. It's really something like, if you want it, you need to get it. Like, and also difficult to find this kind of product because it seems not to belong into the normal way to fashion. But yeah, this is a small difference we have, maybe Europe and States, But as I said, we live with this kind of American dream, and
The American dream is not what it seems. Let me just say that. Like, don't get me wrong, I love America, and it's definitely extremely convenient living in America. Like, that's one thing I can say. Like, I love Europe. It's so different over there. There's so many different cultures blending together, and the landscape changes, with every country and every hour traveling and whatnot. So incredible over there, and everything is so old, right? Everything is so ancient over there. You'll see castles in Italy just like behind a gas station somewhere.
yeah,
Like
there is a history there.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So much history and everything in Europe, but you could drive in Europe for 8 hours and not see a gas station or not see somewhere to eat or whatever. In America, there's 100 gas stations in a 10-mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
There's 100 restaurants. Like, it's the land of plenty, so to speak, and it's kind of disgusting at the same time because of how much waste goes to waste in America as far as like food and everything. I think this is getting a little off topic, but I think I researched like how many chickens are killed in America every day, and something like an astronomical amount. I don't even know, like 156 million chickens or something are killed every day. And it's crazy, man. But it is super convenient in America for sure. Like having to, be on the road and find food and got to use the bathroom or whatever. It's a little more sparse in Europe, but I don't care, man. Like, I don't know. It just seems like way more interesting in Europe. Just all around. There's just so much more to look at and things to do and history and everything else. And yeah, man, I forgot what we were talking about though.
Well,
Something
I think
about me being extremely handsome, I think, but
yeah, why not? Why not? We're gonna post also a picture of you, so everybody gonna take they will decide. They will decide if you are the next bachelor or not.
Oh, for sure, man. I'll slit anyone's throat if they disagree.
Yeah,
I'm coming after you.
coming after us. Yes. Yeah, no, but about this idea of America, do you think that also still have an influence of the cultural life down there? I mean, the
What do you
way.
think? What do you think?
I mean, the way our music or arts in general is represented or is showed. Like, once again, here in Europe, we have this idea. Let's talk about Hollywood, for example.
Sure.
Big movie stars and everything, and this is something. But what about yeah, what we're talking before, the tour life, the how bands can become famous, do you think that America still have this giving this opportunity, or even something changed in the last years? I mean,
it definitely does seem like for bands, if what I'm understanding what you're asking is this, but it definitely does seem for bands like success is easier based off of where you're based out of. Like, if you're a band based out of Los Angeles, you got a bigger shot than a band that's based out of Louisville, Kentucky, or Texas or somewhere like that.
Of course, yeah.
Which is really sad, but you got to work a little harder. Like Rhythm of Fear, we're from Jacksonville, Florida. I think we're famous for like 2 or 3 bands, like Leonard Skinner. I think Molly Hatchet, maybe from here. I can't remember. I want to say Molly Hatchet. But yeah, we got Leonard Skinner, we got Limp Bizkit, and it's like 2 polar opposites of each other, which is funny. But not a great amount of success comes from Jacksonville, Florida, unlike New York City or Miami or even other parts of Florida, like death metal is like a huge part of of Florida, right? Like the birth of death metal is from like 2 different areas in the world,
Yeah.
Sweden and Florida. So, you got Death, it's from Orlando. You got Obituary, Malevolent Creation, like so many great bands that are from Florida, Morbid Angel. So like just based off of where you are can help your success, I think. Like you got bands that would come to Florida just to record at Morris Sound Studios because that's where all the hottest death metal records are being recorded in the late 80s, early 90s. Because that, seemed to be like you'd have more of a chance. Cannibal Corpse moved to Florida from New York. I believe, I forget the other bands. I think Malevolent Creation did the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Because, you have more of a chance in the death metal scene in Florida at that time frame. Not so much anymore. It doesn't matter so much anymore. There's a lot of great death metal bands popping up all over the place. But with the age of the internet, you can promote yourself a lot easier and build hype and everything else. So it almost seems like it doesn't matter too much as to where you're from anymore. With the age of the internet, you can always promote yourself to a point to where it doesn't. You can kick ass regardless. And to put my own foot in my mouth, I said something about Louisville, Kentucky. Like some of my good friends, Knocked Loose, are from Louisville, Kentucky, and they're taking over the world currently. So
yeah, I saw they planned a couple of tours in Europe too.
Oh yeah, I think they're about to tour with Gojira and Alien Weaponry or something. So that's like insane. And they're a hardcore band from the Midwest, right? Not a popular place to be at all. I mean, Louisville's a beautiful city, and Kentucky's a beautiful country, or a beautiful state, so to speak. It's very country out there, but so it just kind of goes to show you as well that maybe everything I just said doesn't actually matter.
No, but it is interesting
for no reason. But
yeah, no, I think it's interesting because, like in Europe, German bands had a strong impact on the metal scene.
Oh yeah.
And so when somebody asks, "Oh, from where comes that band?" They say Germany. Okay, I say, "Oh," so it was like cool, like or like yeah.
So many great bands came out of Germany. One in particular I can think of is Halloween, Creator, Sodom. So many. I think Destruction, right? Destruction from Germany.
Yeah, and then you got like more in the metalcore scene. You got Heaven Shall Burn. You got Caliban, Maroon. Right. I mean, really,
the first hardcore shows I ever went to was Caliban. I want to say it was in like 2003 or 4. It was Caliban, a great band live.
Yeah, I had the chance to be with them here in Germany for a concert and backstage and hang out with them. They're really honest person, like, and even cool. That's nice when I still say this in many episodes I did now, and saying that it's so cool when you have the chance to hang out with those guys, because it destroyed this boundary of who are those people playing on the stage. Human contact, and you can only learn more, about why they're playing like this and why they're doing that and that, and I think this is interesting because if not, you just you still have this kind of distance.
And right. It's nice to get to know like the people in bands that you look up to, or anyone in the industry, whether it be music or movies or even like in stagehand work or whatever. Like, oh, I met the guy who's he's toured with Ariana Grande and he's this famous dude, but then you get to know him and he's just like a normal person. I mean, sure, he could be a dick, or maybe he's nice, but then you kind of get to have like, you get to bullshit with him and learn more about that person. I think that's always really nice. And then you just come to find out like they're just human, right? They're just human, and they just happen to be well known for this one thing in this one part of their life that doesn't really make them who they are, so to speak, but people know them for that,
Yeah, I also tried to do this in this new era of social network. like if I found a page that I think is interesting on somebody, and I like it happened with you. Like I guess I answered you to a history or something like this, and we start just writing, and
Yeah,
then here
yeah.
we are recording a podcast. Like, uh, but this is because my personality is like this. I'm kind of curious, but it seems that sometimes it's kind of not the same. Like, or there is this social media in some ways keep you more in contact, but at the same time still the distance, or like I mean, and with distance I'm not meaning about miles and miles
Right,
around the
right.
world, but the fact that okay, you are on my screen of my phone computer or on my phone,
Yeah, we're being
and still it
separated by
is.
a
Yeah.
device and not some. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like a lot of relationships start out that way, just like meeting people through the internet, and then maybe one day you meet that person, maybe not. It's strange, but it almost is. It's easier for a lot of people who are, I guess, socially awkward, who kind of can't open up to other people. I'm not socially awkward, so to speak, but I know a lot of people who are that feel way more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
getting to know people through the internet first, and then when they meet them in person, it's like, oh, the ice has been broken for years now. We've been talking to each other back and forth for so long. I know so much about you already. Like, this is cool, and it doesn't have to be awkward, but because it can be like that for a while if you're just meeting someone for the first time and you don't really know anything about this person. You don't know their history or what they're into or anything like that, and it could be a really awkward 5 minutes if one of you is awkward. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know why it came in my mind that the fact that there is the movie Ace Ventura, and I think it's also played like there in the Florida or something like this, and
Oh, it
there
was filmed
are
in Florida. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was filmed in Miami, I believe.
yeah, and he went to that concert, and there are
Cannibal
Cannibal
Corpse.
Corpse
Yeah,
playing,
yeah.
right?
What a great scene, man. What a great
Yeah.
scene. And that's why he brought Cannibal Corpse on,
No.
because he's actually a death metal fan. Like him being from Jim Carrey's from
It's
Canada,
Canadian. Yeah.
right? And he grew up listening to all those bands like Gore Guts and Napalm Death and Cannibal Corpse and stuff. And so he brought on Cannibal Corpse because he's a genuine fan of death metal. So I think that is so cool. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like that might be the reason why Cannibal Corpse is the biggest death metal band on the planet. It's because of all the love and recognition they got from that scene in that movie. Because you're talking about as a blockbuster movie at this point, and like everyone knows it.
Yeah. Right.
So everyone knows Cannibal Corpse now. Like, who's that crazy death metal band that was on Ace
Right.
Ventura?
Yeah.
So,
But there was fun combination about how metal got into some, let's say, nowadays episode or movies like this, because yeah, that's a nice thing about music, that not just brings different people in contact or bring together, but also yeah, if you play right, you can put some strange things, combine situation, and that's funny. And as I said, I got a lot of friends in Italy, like having being huge fans of classic movies, from the 90s, but all come from America, so
right.
there
What
is
is it?
this
What
idea.
is the industry like like where do you go? Like, say if you wanted to pursue an acting career
Hmm.
in Switzerland or maybe close by Germany or something, where would you go? Like, where is the spot? Is there a Hollywood, so to speak, in Europe?
Well, honestly, talking to Switzerland, I think in Zurich there is a lot of production houses, companies. They and then they make you in contact with a lot of European movie. There is a lot of very good European movie, and an example is a girl from Ticino, from where I come from a small village. His name her. Oh, wait, no, I forgot the name. I have to Google it. Sorry. Uh, she made a German movie, and her name comes out. Oh, oh, she is a new star. Like, I mean, that movie was kind of strange. It's about the sexual life of a girl in Berlin, I guess. And
Strange movies are the best, man. Those are my favorite.
yeah,
The ones that
it
feel
was
like
really
really
strange.
uncomfortable and weird by the time it's over, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, that movie was really really strange. But then it happens that she played a role in the new Blade Runner. Uh,
Oh, oh,
the doctor of Harrison Ford in the movie. Wait,
oh
now
man, that's now I can't. Now I know who you're talking about now, but I can't think of who it is. That new Blade Runner is incredible. I was just explaining that to a friend of mine, literally yesterday, about how incredible the new Blade Runner was. And I love the old Blade Runner for what it is. You know, the year
yeah.
it came out, it was, I'm sure, jaw dropping for a lot of people, but it is painfully slow, and it can be boring.
Yes, you need
And
to
I
like science fiction for
You have to really
the
be
movie.
into it, right? And and you have to be accepting of the time frame that it came out. Okay, the special effects aren't going to be top notch for 1983 or 85 or whenever it came out. Uh, so you got to kind of accept it for what it is. But as a movie in general, like, is just an iconic like movie. But I love the not the reboot, but the sequel.
Yeah. Well, I found the name Carla Yuri, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
she come from Ticino. I mean, from this small region, and she made the career like this. So, to answer your question, you have the chance. You have to go. I mean, I think Zurich got a very nice connection. There is a film festival in Locarno, worldwide, no, and also a film festival in Zurich. So you have the contacts, you have the boundaries, you have opportunities,
Right.
and
Okay.
that
I'm just trying to make sure, because when I move to Zurich one day, which I probably will, I need to know, man, because I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I become the next Al Pacino
in
in
Zurich.
Zurich? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what do I got to do, bro?
But man, I need to ask you. You said you're an Italian heritage, but
Yes.
can you speak Italian?
Parlo poco Italiano.
Oh, ottimo. It's my mother tongue.
Just a little bit.
I speak Italian every day with my family, and it's like this is so. And then I learned German here at school and everything. But
No, I'm just a dumb American, man. I can't speak any. I can point at things and maybe say what they are in Italian. Or, I can say a couple words like buongiorno and
well, let's go.
buonanotte and buon pomeriggio, like, whatever.
Yeah, let's go on stereotypes. You can play the mafia boss in a movie.
I can be a scumbag mafia guy or something, like, whatever. That's fine.
I was watching The Godfather Part 2 yesterday, and I love the scene when Robert De Niro is eating with the other two friends spaghetti, and he said to the friends that they don't have to think about that guy in the hood who's speaking money, because he's gonna solve this everything and and it's funny because when you then I like the kind of accent they have, like okay, they're in America, so they're speaking like Italian from Sicily, mix it with these words or this accent from America, because and so it's really realistic, I would say. But then when you see some parts, you see that they still have this strong English accent. I mean, American English accent. So this is where it comes a little bit inside a filler, but yeah.
Right.
But that's nice. That's nice. So this is also another point: the fact that America. I mean, a lot of people, even from the part from where I come from, at the beginning from 20th century, they travel abroad to America to find a new life, to find new jobs and everything. And then the fun part is that near where I grew up, Ascona, there is a valley, and it's called Valle Maggia. It's a rural place that goes through the mountains. It's a very nice and peaceful place. And I got this friend of mine, is from LA, He got married with a woman from the region, and so they went lived there in this Vallemaggia, and he was surprised because it was small, really small communities, small villages. You know, after 2 months, everybody who's live where, and
Right.
he was surprised because he met a lot of other American people, like because the grandfather or the grand migrate to America, and then from Switzerland to America, or from north of Italy to America, and then generation later they came back to the roots, and that was
Right.
interesting because he always thought, oh, I will be the only one the year, but in the same small village was like 3 other people come from the States.
Right.
so
Right.
so this is
That's so cool, though,
interesting.
man.
And
I still haven't visited my my home country, so to speak, in Messina, Sicily. That's where my family comes from, and I still got family over there that I haven't met yet. It's really sad, but one day, hopefully, I can go out there. It's just not super convenient as far as like being a musician and trying to get to Sicily, because I don't think there's a whole lot of a music. Is it? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but there's not much of a music scene
No,
down
no,
there.
I have a couple of friends in Italy, and they were saying, if you stay like central Italy and north of Italy, Milano's still one of the Mecca. Let's say a lot of big concert there. There's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
going
it's
on
a
about
market, so
arts.
to speak.
Yeah, even there's a lot of rappers from Italy that just go from the small villages around Italy. They go to Milan because this is where you can live the dream. This is where you can find a good production, recording studios, and everything. So
Right.
this is where the magic happened there.
Right,
But
right. Milano is incredible, man. I played some good shows there for sure, and Bologna as well. Bologna was cool, but yeah, Sicily. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to fly down there on my own one day, and hopefully check that out. Try to meet the familia.
yeah, that's would be nice. And then, of course, as we were discussing before we start the record of the podcast, you went to Zurich like 1.5 years ago, touring with one of the band, and I was working also in Zurich, and I was at work watching my history on Instagram and say, "Oh my God, this guy he's there." And I
Yeah,
remember you write me, "Hey, come hanging out at the Werk 21." There was a place on the riverside where you play, and
yeah.
but I couldn't, and I was so pissed off because have the chance that somebody come from the stage touring and we are in the same place, but you're not
Right,
able
right.
to meet each
Hey, it works,
other.
man. Work's important, bro. Work's important. It's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
When I'm living on your couch, man, we'll hang out every day. It's no problem.
That's great. Mi casa es tu casa.
Yes,
That's
bro.
it.
No,
Logan,
but yeah, that show was good, man. I can't. What was the name of the venue again?
I mean, in German is Werk 21 or Dynamo. I don't know in which hall did you play because at the same
Yeah, yeah.
place you got a small one. It's like stone made. You go down, let's say, and the other one is just a big concert hall upstairs.
This one was like it almost looked like you were in like a cave or something. Like it had like the arched room.
Yeah, that's the Werk 21, Work to 21.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Work 21. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the place was sick, man. It was so cool. The promoter was awesome. The hospitality was awesome. The sound there was incredible. That was probably one of the better sounding rooms we played on that tour. Yeah, that was with Leeway from New York City. Not my band, but a band I've been involved with since 2015. No, 2016, maybe something like that. But no longer playing for Leeway. I quit in 2019, July, I believe, 2019.
Okay.
To focus more on Rhythm of Fear stuff, and
Yeah.
and also at the time, my wife at the time, her mother was diagnosed with brain and lung cancer at the same time, and she was kind of going. Her health was deteriorating pretty quickly, so I decided to try to calm down with the touring, stay home with her, and help out if needed or whatever, because I knew things were going to get real tight, and and emotionally draining for a lot of people. So I wanted to be there for my wife, and touring with Leeway and Marauder and Rhythm of Fear and all these other things I was doing just had to be, put on halt for the time. But then I decided, when everything got back to normal, she's still doing good, by the way. Anyone who's listening at this current point, she was diagnosed in 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
And she's still kicking ass. She's doing good. She's doing better now than she was a month ago, which is crazy. But stage 4 brain and lung cancer, and she's still doing good.
That's good to hear. Some positivity out there is always good,
Yeah, she's doing good. She's still got her wits about her. Still, has her sense of humor and her strength, and she's eating good and sleeping good and stuff. So hopefully she beats it. But we all know it's a low chance. I think she has like a 5% chance of living more than 5 years or something. But she's doing good. But yeah, now that things are back to normal, I'm still I've decided to just kind of focus on Rhythm of Fear, whatnot. But man, I had a great time on that tour. On that Leeway tour, is a really good time.
Yeah,
with a lot of great cities.
Have you also played with Marauder?
Yes, yeah, Marauder. Another like older New York hardcore band from Brooklyn. What's crazy about that is like that's a band I grew up listening to. Oh, same with Leeway as well. But that was a band like I started my first like hardcore band in 2006 because of Marauder. I heard I heard Marauder was being booked in my hometown, and I started a band with some high school friends, and we wrote 3 songs just so we can open for Marauder. I didn't even care if we were going to be a band after that. I was like, yo, my favorite hardcore band is coming through. We got to play. We got to open for Marauder, and then we can just do whatever later. But we took like 3 months off to write more songs and become like a little more organized and legit. And then we started doing more shows after that. But yeah, and then fast forward to 2016, Marauder was breaking up, doing their final tour. Jay Santiago, our singer of Rhythm of Fear, he's friends with Jorge. He was friends with Jorge previously. They met years ago when we opened for Marauder in 2000, I don't know, 11 or 12 maybe, when they were touring with Warhound, I think. Which, rest in peace, Warhound. I don't think they're a band anymore, but yeah, so they met a while ago, and then so Jorge contacted Jay and said, hey, Marauder's breaking up. We want to do our final tour. We want Rhythm of Fear to come along. We're like, oh yeah, fantastic. Like, that'd be killer, dream come true. And then about 2 weeks before the tour is going to start, Jorge calls Jay and says, hey, I'm going to have to cancel the tour. Like, I don't have any band members. I only have a bass player. Like, everyone, I can't get a hold of anyone, or I don't know what the problem was. Like, maybe no one could do it, and he assumed people could do it. And so we got asked, like, Rhythm of Fear, or part of Rhythm of Fear, got asked to learn the songs last minute and do the tour. And that's basically what happened. And then ever since then, like, from that point on, we were just like, I was doing like every Marauder show and every Marauder tour, like in Europe and Colombia, South America, and whatever. And that was a good time, man. That's like one of those weird, like, is the simulation operating correctly because I'm playing in Marauder? Like, this is doesn't make any sense. I started playing in a hardcore band because of Marauder. There was a different band back in the day called Nasty Crew, but that broke up in 2009. But started a band because of Marauder and ended up joining Marauder, and that's just weird to me. Like 10 years later, not playing for them anymore either. Jorge couldn't afford me. No, I'm kidding. No, he couldn't afford my expertise, bro.
Yeah,
I'm expensive, man. I need like $1,000 per show, and they're only making about $150 per show. So, no.
Something similar happened to me. I grew up listening to a lot of Californian punk rock, and one of my favorite band is No Use for a Name. And it happened that with my whole punk rock band from Ticino, I had the chance to open one of the concert of No Use for a Name. And, it was like a dream come true because you are sharing the stage with a
Right.
band that you always love, that your that song just introduce you in another dimension of music and other
Right.
bands, and then you're there with the backstage and you can talk with your idols. So let's say,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's
The
say,
people you look up to. Right.
yeah, and this one of the amazing experience. And once again, music give you, it's the key to open those kind of doors, this kind of experience. And
Sure.
even if it's a concert or it's to tour all over Europe, or the world, still you have this remembering. I was there. I could
Right. Something to look back on.
with this band, yeah. And
Yeah, I love that, man. I love like being in Rhythm of Fear. Like that was kind of like my main goal from the beginning was like I just want to open for all my favorite bands. I don't care what it takes. Like if Fear Factory's coming through, I want to open for Fear Factory. If Obituary's coming through, I want to open for Obituary. Like I didn't want to just be at the show anymore. I wanted to like look back when I'm 80 years old and look at all these flyers like, man, like I played with this band or I played, when this record came out or that time frame. I remember like that band wasn't doing a whole lot and we got to play with them on a floor show because of this or whatever. Like it's a good experience and it's just one of those things like just makes life like so much more rich and interesting to be able to like share the stage with some of your favorite bands. So I definitely feel you on that, man. That's good stuff.
yeah,
Sure. Music definitely opens a lot of doors for a lot of normal people like us, loser type people that don't have anything cool going on. Like, we were never cool, but yeah, we can barely play an instrument and then we get to travel all over the world because of that. Like,
yeah. It's all the passion, I think. It's all the dedication and the passion because we still believe in that, It's not just doing that because it's cool. It's because it's fun and because it's something that it's important to us.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I'm just in it for the money. Obviously, I could care less about the music. I'm just here to pay off my yacht. I have like 7 yachts that I got to pay off.
Yeah, I have two Lamborghinis in my garage. What do you think, man?
Yeah, down in Monaco, right?
Yeah, I know the
garage
struggle.
down
I know the struggle.
gotta pay off my yachts, bro. So like Rhythm of Fear, that's what I'm saying. Like we gotta go out there and get our guarantee. We get that cool 40 euros now, 400,000 euros per show, and I'll be okay, man. I'll be all right.
But you already recorded a last album with Rhythm of Fear, right?
Rhythm of Fear, yes. So we haven't completed it at this point. I don't know when this is being aired, but at this point, it's almost done. Just got to go back in and do a couple final touches with guitar solos and vocals, but it's pretty much done. And it'll be 13 tracks. Not sure when it's going to be released. Hopefully by the end of the year, maybe sooner. But I'm excited, man. We're all excited. We're all really proud of this album. We put a lot of work into this one. It took us a good amount of time to put these songs together to where we all felt happy with it. We're all very critical of our own music, and we could write a song and then change it 100 times before we're finally like ready to record it.
Yeah. So Logan, we are closing the episode. It was
man. Come on, bro. I was just getting warmed up.
I don't know. I guess my public, my audience, sorry, is I guess is used to have like 1 hour episode each time. So
Ooh, they need to tighten up, man. Clear your schedule for the day, and let's just listen to me breeze.
I don't know. Did you have any last words to close this episode?
Well, look out for the new Rhythm of Fear record. It should be out by the end of the year, 2021. Hopefully we'll be in Europe for the first time this year. If not this year, hopefully next year. Shout out to all the wonderful Swiss bands out there like Celtic Frost and Coroner and all my favorite bands that are from out there. Shout out to Switzerland for just being a badass, beautiful country. Shout out to you for having me on this podcast. I'm honored, appreciate it, and also shout out to you for allowing me to live on your couch in the next 3 weeks when I move in. Warm it up for me. No, but
for sure, man.
But no, that's it, man. Follow Rhythm of Fear on all our social media. You know how it is, man. Got to put the plug in there for that. Yeah, that's basically it, man.
Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate the time with you. And who knows, maybe in a couple of months we could do like a live podcast together.
Oh, that would be
again.
killer. That would be killer. Yeah, I would be honored, man. Appreciate you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Logan.
Thank you.
Check this out. Music to live for with Shanti.
The American thrash metal band Rhythm of Fear give us a song from their EP of 2019, Ritual Dementia. This is Slithering Madness.